Welcome to the incredible story of New Zealand, a land of breathtaking beauty, deep traditions, and remarkable transformation. From its ancient Maori origins to becoming one of the world's most progressive nations, this is the full journey of Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud, the ancient world before humans. For millions of years, New Zealand was completely isolated from the rest of the world. It broke away from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana around 85 million years ago. While dinosaurs once roamed its land, after their extinction, New Zealand became a world apart. A land ruled by birds, giant flightless birds called moa, and their predator, the hosts, eagle, dominated the islands. No mammals existed here, except for bats and marine species. This untouched isolation created one of the most unique ecosystems on Earth. Arrival of the Maori. Around Iten Lambai Iten Sambai Sea. The first humans arrived by sea, skilled Polynesian navigators who sailed thousands of kilometers across the Pacific in great canoes, or waka. They brought with them crops like taro and kumara, tools, and a rich oral culture. These early settlers became the Maori, forming powerful tribes known as Iwai and Hapu. Each tribe had its own land, ancestry, and traditions. The Maori built villages called pa, fortified settlements, practiced haka dances, and lived by tikanga, a system of customs and social laws. Their connection to the land, Winua, and to their ancestors was at the heart of their identity. By the 16th century, Maori society was thriving, with well-established trade, agriculture, and artistry. European discovery, the age of exploration. In 1642, the Dutch explorer Abel Tasman became the first European to sight New Zealand. His encounter with the Maori in Golden Bay ended violently, leading him to leave without landing. More than a century later, in 1769, Captain James Cook arrived under the British flag. He circumnavigated both main islands, mapped them in detail, and established contact with many Maori tribes. Cook's expeditions opened the door to the wider world, and with it, change. Early contact and trade. 1790 Zeeding, 40s. After Cook, whalers, sealers, and traders began visiting New Zealand's coasts. They traded muskets, iron, and goods for timber, flax, and food. Missionaries soon followed, spreading Christianity and literacy among Maori communities. But the arrival of Europeans, or PK, as Maori called them, also brought disease, weapons, and conflict. Intertribal wars known as the Musket Wars erupted between the 1810s and 1830s. Fueled by the introduction of European guns, tens of thousands of Maori died, reshaping tribal territories and power. The Treaty of Waitangi, 1840. As European settlers increased, Britain sought to establish legal authority. In 1840, British representatives and over 500 Maori chiefs signed the Treaty of Waitangi. Chichirichiu. The treaty was meant to protect Maori rights while granting Britain sovereignty, but two versions, one in English and one in Maori, differed in meaning. This misunderstanding led to generations of disputes over land and governance. Still, February 6, 1840, is now remembered as Waitangi Day, New Zealand's National Day. Colonization and the New Zealand Wars, 1840 to 1870s. After the treaty, New Zealand officially became a British colony. European migrations surged, and towns like Auckland and Wellington began to grow. However, Maori soon realized they were losing land rapidly to settlers. Tensions exploded into a series of conflicts known as the New Zealand Wars between 1845 and 1872. These wars, fought between Maori tribes and British colonial forces, were brutal. Maori resistance leaders like Honheki, Taikuti, and Taito Kawaru became legendary for their courage. By the end of the wars, much Maori land was confiscated, leaving deep scars that still influence New Zealand society today. Nation building, the late 19th century. By the late 1800s, New Zealand was evolving into a self-governing colony. In 1852, Britain granted New Zealand a constitution, allowing its own parliament. The country thrived on agriculture, especially sheep farming and exports of wool, meat, and butter. Railways, telegraphs, and new towns expanded across the islands. In 1893, New Zealand made world history. It became the first country to grant women the right to vote, a bold move led by suffragist Kate Shepherd. This moment established New Zealand as a pioneer in social progress. The 20th century wars and identity. During World War I, thousands of New Zealanders served under the British flag. The tragic Gallipoli campaign in 1915 became a defining moment, one that forged national pride in the ANZAC spirit. Australia and New Zealand Army Corps. After the war, the nation faced economic depression but continued to modernize. During World War II, New Zealand again supported the Allies, sending troops to Europe and the Pacific. After 1945, it began to distance itself politically from Britain, forming its own global identity. The 1950s-1970s saw rapid urbanization, new immigration from the Pacific, and growing pride in Māori culture. The Maori Renaissance, 1970s. 1990s. As awareness of historical injustices grew, Māori activists demanded recognition and rights. Movements like the Waitangi Tribunal, established in 1975, investigated treaty violations and returned some lands. Maori language. Te reo Maori experienced revival through schools, media, and official recognition. This cultural rebirth reshaped New Zealand's identity into a bicultural nation, proud of both its Māori and European roots. Modern New Zealand, a progressive nation. Today, New Zealand stands as one of the world's most peaceful and democratic countries. It is known for its natural beauty, innovation, and leadership in global issues. From climate action to nuclear disarmament. In 1987, New Zealand became the first nation to declare itself nuclear-free, banning nuclear weapons and powered vessels from its waters, even straining ties with the US at the time. Leaders like Jacinda Ardern gained global admiration for governance, notably her response to the Christchurch mosque attacks in 2019, which emphasized unity and kindness. Economically, New Zealand thrives on agriculture, technology, and tourism, though environmental protection remains a major focus. And culturally, its films, music, and art, from The Lord of the Rings to indigenous storytelling, have captured the world's imagination. New Zealand today. Modern New Zealand celebrates diversity and equality. It is a nation where Māori culture sits proudly alongside modern innovation, where rugby unites people, and where respect for nature runs deep. With a population of about 5 million, New Zealand continues to balance tradition and progress, embracing its past while shaping a sustainable, inclusive future. Narrator. From ancient Māori voyagers to modern global leadership, New Zealand's story is one of courage, conflict, and compassion. It's proof that even a small island nation can make a big mark on the world. So, what do you think? What makes New Zealand truly unique to you?